What's going on, guys? I know this is a bit late, but I wanted to do a review of the Resident Evil 2 remake because I am having an absolute blast playing this game. I just need to talk about it. I have been playing it thoroughly over the last week. Completed all the 4 scenarios and also touched on all of the DLC modes as well, so I feel like I have a lot to talk about in this game. This is actually the first Resident Evil game that I've ever played. I've never played any of the other games. The only other game that I saw gameplay footage from was Resident Evil 7, and that was from a live streamer. And I didn't like how it looked. Don't judge me, but I have never been a fan of first-person games. I feel like I can't get immersed into the character because I can't see what I look like the whole time. That's why I like third-person games. It feels more natural because I am playing as a third person, and I get to change outfits and such, which is another cool feature that I like. So because I never really played the original Resident Evil 2, I really had no expectations going into this game. The nostalgia factor wasn't there for me, and it took a lot longer to navigate my way through on my first playthrough. I did Claire B, Leon A first. Claire's took 8.5 hours, and Leon's took 6 hours. But on my second time round, I did a lot better. Knew the map better and got more efficient with my movement. Leon A took 3 hours and Claire B took 2.5 hours. And this is what I like about the game the most. The replayability factor is amazing. And I liked how, since I hadn't played the original game before, I was going in not knowing what to expect. And I loved the story on my first playthrough, easily an A+. I think my favorite enemy is the Licker. They just looked really disturbing. As for the Tyrant, I didn't really find him scary or horrible. It was just that he was really annoying. For example, like if I'm trying to solve a puzzle in a particular room, he would just come in and then I would try to avoid him, sometimes go out the room and then come back in and then try to figure out the puzzle again. My favorite character to play would be Claire, because thickness, and also because I like her weapons a lot more than Leon's. My favorite weapon of the game would probably be Claire's grenade launcher, and I also really like the spark shot as well. The final boss was also much easier. Super Tyrant is a pain in the ass to deal with. It's not hard, it's not really that hard, but it is a lot harder than Claire's boss. But I found that the more scenarios I played, the more I liked the game less. My opinion kind of changed from when I first played Claire A to when I finished all 4 scenarios, but not because I got sick of the game in any way. The main reason I wanted to play them all was to see the different endings that they had and also what was so different about them to each other. I think this part of the game sucked. Don't get me wrong, I loved the story, but what I didn't like was how the paths didn't really feel connected to each other. I liked the idea of playing as Claire, seeing what she was up to, then playing as Leon, seeing what he was up to, while Claire was doing something else. And I wish that was the case, because sadly it isn't. Claire and Leon hardly meet each other. And when I was playing on my second run, I experienced a lot of things that I experienced in my first run. For example, finding the same bosses, doing the same tasks, which seems quite odd, because this shouldn't be the case. It just made the story feel disconnected and inconsistent, and kind of ruined my immersion. Also, I expected Leon A and Claire B to be different than my first playthrough, but they're actually all basically the same. Leon A is just Claire A, but with Leon stuff, and Claire B is just like Leon B, but with Claire stuff. And the endings are the same. Like, what the fuck? The Evil Within, another popular game in the survival horror genre. I don't know why The Evil Within 2 flopped, because I loved playing that game. I think that game was better than this game even. It had a much better story, more content, and I felt like I cared for the characters more. I might do a review for that in the future. But Resident Evil 2, while some people think that it is a very small nitpick, a very small problem, for me it was a major one. Because I think the story is the most important part in a video game. And if the paths don't really feel connected to each other, it just really ruins my immersion to the game's story. So, I had a lot of time to think this game through. In the end, I'm going to give this game an 8 out of 10. Now let's talk about the DLC modes, because they are really, really fucking hard. Not impossible though. It makes getting S+ in the main story a walk in the park. I like when a game challenges me, but then it gets to a point where it's too hard that it's really frustrating. and just doesn't become fun anymore. But hear me out. I don't dislike the DLC modes. I think they're a really good addition to the base content of the game, and best of all, they are free. They are very hard, and they do take some time to get used to. I played the 4th Survivor first. It took a few tries to get it done. Then I completed the Ghost Survivors on training mode just so I could get to the No Way Out mode so I could get the trophy. After completing all of these modes on training and normal mode, I found training mode to be way too easy, and normal to be pretty hard but not impossible. So if they could make one difficulty that was between those two, that'd be pretty perfect for me. And it'd be fun at the same time. I managed to complete the No Way Out scenario in, I think, around 5 hours-ish. I tried both yesterday and the day before, and I got better at it the more I tried. So if any one of you wants to try it, be patient and calm. You will get it eventually. But anyway, that's my review for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like the video if you liked it, and leave a sub to help grow the channel. Also, please leave a comment. I'm interested to hear other people's thoughts on this game. And if you haven't already, please check out my previous video. Until next time.